Brussels recently floated the idea of teaming up with the Asia-Pacific trade bloc, which also includes the United Kingdom.
What about the European Union? You said that negotiations are going nowhere. Where are the kind of points
where they're slow moving? I've been saying to everybody, they've treated us very badly over the years. It was formed in order to hurt the United States. We have, I guess, over $12 trillion practically committed. You look at other presidents, they haven't had $1 trillion for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years.
What happens when the EU declares economic war on Trump's America First policy? Spoiler alert, Bourbon, Tesla, and Boeing are about to pay the price. Hard. But wait until you see how this $24.5 billion plan could leave U.S. industries scrambling for survival. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. What do bourbon, almonds, and Teslas have in common? They're all on the EU's $24.5 billion hit list. And honestly, Trump didn't see this one coming. When Trump decided to slap a 30% tariff on European goods, he probably thought he was putting America in the driver's seat. But what he actually did was wave a red flag in front of an expert strategist. The EU has a long history of playing the retaliation game smart and slow. They took their time, biding it for maximum impact, then unleashed a plan that leaves some of America's key industries hurting, and not just a little. Let's talk bourbon first. Kentucky's finest export isn't just an American cultural icon, it's also an economic lifeline for the state.
On the 9th of July, Donald Trump's punitive tariffs could go into effect unless some last-minute miracle could avoid repercussions for European exporters from cars to pharmaceuticals.
In order to take advantage of the United States, and they've done that. We have a big deficit with them. They sell millions and millions of cars, as you know, Mercedes and BMW and Volkswagen and many others. We have numbers. Nobody's ever seen numbers like we have. And if they build their plant here, then they have no tariff at all.
Brussels recently floated the idea of teaming up with the Asia-Pacific trade bloc, which also includes the United Kingdom.
But thanks to the EU's counter-tariffs, European buyers are now paying significantly more for their whiskey fix. This isn't just a brewing problem, it's distilling real pain down to small business owners across Kentucky. Exports are slowing, and with Europe being one of bourbon's biggest markets, distillers are staring down the barrel of shrinking profits. And we all know how much Trump loves his MAGA-red Kentucky voters, right? Well, they might not be toasting him this time around. Now let's shift gears, literally, to Tesla. Elon's electric dreams are facing increased EV tariffs in Europe, a market where Tesla made significant inroads on the back of its affordability. But the EU's new price hikes are like throwing a wrench in the gears. A Model Y might remain sleek and shiny, but with these tariffs, it becomes a whole lot harder to sell, especially with European competitors like Volkswagen lurking around the corner. It's almost like watching a high-stakes chess game. Europe is sacrificing less pivotal pieces, raising prices on almonds or bourbon, just to trap America's bigger industries like EVs in a checkmate. And speaking of farming, let's not forget that almonds aren't just a random choice. With $20 billion of American agriculture exports going to Europe annually, these tariffs could hit the sector hard. Farmers who already had thin margins might find themselves with no way out. This isn't just retaliation, it's targeted economic warfare. Trump's tariffs may have been America first in theory, but they left vulnerable industries exposed. And Europe? It's rewriting the rules, moving from defense to offense in a trade game Trump thought he could dominate. But this goes deeper than just tariffs. What the EU does next could reshape global trade as we know it. Think the EU's just slapping tariffs? Think again. They're doing something bigger, rewriting the rule book of global economics, and America's businesses are the ones footing the bill. From climate change policies to tech regulations, the EU is taking every global issue Donald Trump ignored and flipping it into a secret weapon. The America First narrative? It's starting to sound a lot like America Pays First. Let's start with Silicon Valley. The EU isn't just hitting agriculture and bourbon. They've set their sights on the tech world. Enter the digital services tax aimed squarely at US-based tech giants like Google, Apple, and Amazon. The tax, potentially as high as 8%, might generate $12 billion for the EU. To you and me, that might seem like a huge win for Europe, but for California tech execs, it's a major headache.
Since taking office for the second time in January, Donald Trump has antagonized the EU more than ever.
We were restricted from, essentially restricted from selling cars into the European Union, which is not nice. And I just said it's time that we play the game the way I know how to play the game.
European goods going to the United States could face a 50% duty as threatened.
What are you hoping to achieve with a 50% tariffs on the EU?
Well, I think this is there is no tariff, because what they'll do is they'll send their companies into the U.S. and build their plant.
And these companies aren't just giants, they're political powerhouse donors. When Silicon Valley starts losing cash, you better believe they'll call their friends in Washington to dial up the pressure. The EU knows exactly what they're doing. This isn't just retaliation, it's long-term leverage. Then there's Tesla, the golden child of the green economy. Well, most of the time. The EU's carbon compliance tax could add a brutal $10,000 onto the cost of the Model Y. Sure, the Tesla feels futuristic, but Europeans won't be buying when it's priced more like a flying car. This aligns perfectly with the EU's environment policies while quietly shoving American manufacturers out of the picture. And trust me, that tax? It's not random. It's sharp, calculated, and just inconvenient enough to dismantle Tesla's market edge. And here's the kicker. Boeing's staring down a potential 35% tariff on European imports, risking billions in jet orders. While Trump barked fair trade, Airbus watched quietly and smiled. In this game, Trump brought slogans to a chess match. Meanwhile, the EU turned the board around and said, checkmate. This isn't just about tariffs, it's the EU reshaping the trade arena entirely, and the collateral damage? It's squarely on the shoulders of American industries and consumers. So, how much longer will Americans be willing to pay for Trump's trade games? Trump's America First policy was supposed to be the superhero cape for American industries, but instead, it's looking more like a straitjacket. Bourbon barrels aren't selling, Tesla's getting slapped with new fees, and Boeing might need a new flight plan. The EU didn't just hit back, they took their time, aimed carefully, and pulled the trigger on a $24.5 billion retaliation plan. If trade wars are so easy to win, why does losing cost American industries more every day? The EU isn't just playing defense anymore, they're rewriting the rules. The real question is, can America afford to keep pretending otherwise?